Come go with me on my trip to the DR. We flew out of the Fort Lauderdale airport, and it was a very, 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 very early flight. It was a 7 a.m. flight, so we had to get there pretty early in the morning. I think we arrived a little bit after 4, right before 5. This is my face at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was tired. We flew on JetBlue. I don't think I've ever flown on JetBlue, but I must say I was thoroughly impressed with JetBlue. I had no complaints. Plane was clean, the service was top notch, very comfortable, and I was in the front of the plane. Rarely do I sit in the front, but this time I was in the front of the plane. Our flying time was about 2 hours. We landed in the DR. This is one airport that there was not a jetway, so we had to walk down the stairs, cross the tarmac to the area to get our luggage. Now, I haven't had my passport stamped since I went to England in 2008. That was a long time. So here we were waiting on our luggage. It kind of took a little minute for our luggage to come through, but this was where all our baggage claim, and if you wanted to change your money over, it was all done in this area. Again, very clean, very neat. People were very, very friendly. Now, I couldn't tell you what they were saying half the time, but they were friendly. Very, very, very friendly. While we were waiting, we were entertained by this gentleman. I don't know what he was saying, but he had a very, very high soprano voice. And he was very entertaining. Everybody was passing by listening to him, almost like serenade the people getting off the plane, but he was very entertaining. We walked through the airport, got our luggage, and we were going over to where our transportation was located. Now, I have had several different type of transportation pickups from airports, but this one by far, I felt really like official with these black fleets of SUVs. It was very nice. Now, we stayed at this resort. Man, 10 out of 10. I had no complaints. There's two sides of this resort. This is the side that we stayed on. Excellent. We went downstairs. We were right in time for like lunch. Hey, let me tell y'all, they had so many different options of food in this restaurant. It was a buffet. All you can eat, whatever you want to eat, however many times you want to go up there and eat. It was like rows and rows of food. Their fruit was top notch. That pineapple, sweet every day we were there. Again, half of the food, I don't even know what it was that was up there, but there were so many options to choose from. There was a seafood side, there was a Chinese side, everything you could think of, they had it. That pizza was also good, by the way. So some of my favorites that was up there, they had like a stew pork, a stew chicken. Those were really good. I actually think that's one of them right there. But it was so much. We really never had any complaints about this buffet because it was so much to choose from. Like literally every time you turned the corner, there was more food to choose from. So there was no reason anybody had to ever be hungry in here or while on this trip, because this restaurant right here, it was a lot. And as you can see, I'm still showing you all the different options. And this was just the first day. We had just got there right then. I know it looked like I'm filming this man's butt, but he walked in front of my video. I was not filming him. I was filming the food. So finally, we finished and we started walking out to tour this beautiful facility. I had never been to an all-inclusive resort, but honey, I would definitely save up my money and go again. This resort had two sides. We were on the adults only side because we actually did not have any kids with us, but there was another side that had kids. This view was actually from my sister's room. So that view is the pool with people who have children. They were on that side. Very nice pool, very clean. They had lifeguards out there. The different cabanas you can sit in and watch. And as you can see, we were very close to the beach. Literally, the beach was right there. It was such a like calm and relaxing environment out there the whole time. It was hot, but it actually did have a nice breeze. This was us, chilling on my sister's balcony. I know it looked like my hip is really big, but it's really the way that I'm sitting. This was our bathroom before we unpacked our stuff. The bathroom was very nice and spacious and very clean. Water got really, really hot. This was me on our first night headed down to dinner. I had just finished hot curling my hair or recurling it from the flight earlier, and we're all getting ready to meet up for dinner downstairs. So I was just making sure I was cute. That first night, I think that was the macaroni, shrimp, and I think there was something else in there. I want to say steak. After dinner, this was our view from our room. Next morning, we went back to that restaurant for breakfast, and this is me and my friend Charmaine. That's me taking a selfie. Well, not a selfie, but my own photo. Then we headed over to the spa. Let me tell y'all, if I could pack that spa up and bring it back with us, man, we would have. This spa had to be top level. I've never ever experienced anything like it. Unfortunately, we could not record in there, so we could not show everything that was done inside of that room, but it was so great. I'll talk about that forever. So after the spa, I done been relaxed. I feel like that spa took off about 5 years worth of stress. I wish I would have had a longer time in there because that spa was definitely one of a kind. So I walked down to the beach after my spa. I was going to go down to the beach water, but as you can see, it was full of seaweed on this side. And that reminded me too much of my summers in Palm Beach with seaweed in the water, and I just could not make myself go down there. So I just watched from right there, and then I headed back inside. Well, actually, I walked around a little bit to see the different areas that I had not seen yet because I really hadn't been anywhere other than our room and then downstairs to the different buffet areas. But I had never been out this part to this area. So this is all a part of the resort. And actually that area over to the right, they're actually having a wedding over in that far right corner, which in a few days, that's where we'll be for my niece's wedding. But very beautiful scenery, different restaurants. And this restaurant right here had the best empanadas I have ever had in my life. And then I topped it off with a pina colada. So delicious. So before I went and took my shower, I decided to jump in the pool that was on our balcony, just for a little quiet time, relaxation or whatever, as I got ready for dinner that was going to be later. This was dinner that night. I did not take a picture of our food, but it was a French restaurant and the food was okay. Later that night, we went down to a show. It was the Dominican night. Very nice vibe out there, very entertaining. We didn't stay out there too long, but this was the Dominican night. And now the reason that we were in the DR, it was for my niece's wedding. So this is the wedding day. Everybody's in there prepping, getting the dress ready. Bridesmaids are getting ready, makeup. And here we are getting the bride ready. And I have the honor of putting her garter on. Then here we are getting ready to head down. The ceremony actually has taken place at this point, but these are all of our pictures after the ceremony, which was very beautiful. And it literally was right there on that boardwalk and right in front of the water. Very nice scenery. This is all my family and friends. All of us gathered over in the DR to celebrate my niece and her husband. So it was a very nice wedding, very short and sweet and very nice. The next morning, we got up, went and enjoyed some pool time. Now, I cannot swim, so this is about as best as I could do is enjoy this view. How am I Floridian and don't know how to swim? Don't ask me. Here goes another, I don't even know what this is called, but this was another nice sweet drink or whatever. I had so many pina coladas, I probably lost count.
Virgin drinks.
Me enjoying the last little bit of sun or whatever. That night, our last night there, we went to this restaurant that served us a 46-ounce tomahawk steak. That steak was so delicious. I also had the bacon wrapped shrimp. But that restaurant was known for the big steak. And we had like 3 or 4 on the table that we actually all shared. It was very good. This is me at dinner that night taking my, little selfies. And, I think I was cute for the trip, so I had to take my pictures. And then here's some of us. We were supposed to be doing like an all white night. We decided to take some pictures on the stairwell as our last night, and we're going back to reality the next day. So that was that. Then the morning that we are checking out, here's our last view of this beautiful place. This restaurant here, or this shop, was actually the sweet shop. They had nice milkshakes, fresh fruits. All of their juices was freshly made. But this restaurant we stopped in right before we were departing for the airport. They had every type of treat you could want. That's my friend Charmaine. I think she was getting some coffee or something, child. I don't do coffee, but I was in there just taking my last minute videos or whatnot. But I did have a milkshake from there one of those nights, and that milkshake was so good. This is our walk out of this beautiful place that we hated to leave. Wish we could have stayed longer. 4 days, 5 days was definitely not long enough. This is a place I would definitely return to. I got to go save up some money to stay there, but I would definitely return there for about a week, even longer if I could afford it. But I would definitely come back here. I had never heard of this place until I got invited to attend my niece's wedding, but I will definitely be returning. This is us going to the airport. Some little clips from the town. We never left the resort, so I can't tell you what anything looks like other than this outside of the resort, because the resort had so much to offer. We never ever left. We got there on Thursday. We didn't leave the resort again until Monday morning, when it was time for us to depart to the airport. So these are just a few clips that I got. I think we had just entered the airport at this point. But from what I can see, the area that we were in was very, very beautiful, very nice. The people were very nice. I didn't understand half the time what they were saying. So I would definitely say get Google Translate to help you. Now, their airport, getting out of there, oh my, it was very chaotic. But thankfully, we made it through. We made it through TSA, customs, immigration, all of that. We made it through. I actually think that was immigration right there. The line was not super long. We walked through. We made it to the gift shop area. It had so many nice shops in there. Expensive, but everything was very nice. It was so much stuff that you could, choose from for souvenirs to take back home to different loved ones. Whatever you wanted, you could have got it out of the airport. And this part of the airport looked so much different than the arriving side. Like, I didn't even think the airport consisted of this much based on what I saw on the arriving side. And as we walked to our gate, they had a lot of nice artwork lined up in the hallways, I guess of local artists. And some of them was very, very nice. Like, I could see why they were on display. Here's some more gift shops as we go all the way to the other side to get to our gate. Now here, this is the first time I ever got on the plane first. I'm going to always remember that. We're on our plane, getting ready to head back to the U.S. I think we were a little delayed, but not much. But yeah, this is us playing on the tarmac, getting ready to take off. It looks so deserted out there, but there was a whole lot of planes lined up, ready to go. And yeah, this is our departure from the beautiful DR. I will definitely would like to return in the future. This has always been a place that I've wanted to go. Growing up, I always wanted to go to Hawaii, London, and the DR. Thankfully, I have been to London already. I've now been to the DR, so the next thing on my list is to one day make it to Hawaii. Those are places that I've always wanted to go ever since I was little, and especially when I was able to get a passport when I was 14. I was like, oh, now it's really obtainable for me to get there. Now I just need to save the money and get there, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to Hawaii. That's my third travel destination on my bucket list, but the DR did not disappoint whatsoever. I had zero complaints. It is a memory that will be in my head forever. We created some new memories, and it was a much needed trip. It was so good for just resetting and pausing. And yeah, it was a trip that I can say I definitely needed, and I felt so much better when I did come back home. Now, I don't know what we were flying over, but it was just so beautiful up in the air. Yeah, I don't know where that is, but look how beautiful the water is and how it's separated. Here we are landing back in Miami, and this is probably where I stopped recording because once we landed in Miami, oh, it was a different story. Our next flight from our Miami to Orlando was delayed, then canceled. So we ended up having to rent a rental car to get back home, and we had to get back home because we had to be to work the next day. So you won't see any more videos from here on because it was a journey to get back home. But here I am, back on U.S. soil.